All around us, there are feats of engineering, things which boggle the mind and make us re-evaluate everything we previously thought possible. Nature throws us curveballs as well, like this bizarre pink lake. But is there a car that defies everything we previously thought possible as well? A car so wild, it really shouldn't exist. Well, I think there is one that I've found, and it is this, the 2015 Range Rover Sport SVR, the most outrageous supercharged V8 Range Rover ever. But how does that work when you put a 5-litre supercharged V8 into a Range Rover, which isn't exactly sporty, and then modify everything to make it just that little bit sportier? Does it work, or is it just really quite stupid? Well, let's find out. What is the SVR? Well, I'm told that it's a 405 kilowatt fire breathing version of the Range Rover Sport, as you can well see. Now, what 405 kilowatts of supercharged V8 gives is a 0 to 100 time of 4.7 seconds, which is mighty impressive in a Range Rover, I must be honest. It is without doubt the least Range Rover ever. I've read that it's the most dynamic and sporty Range Rover ever built. So, what do I think of that? Well, to be honest, I have a few reservations. You see, a Range Rover, in my opinion, is perfectly summed up by this ridiculously twee ad from 1970 something.
It's something quite new. It's 4 cars in one. It has the comfort of a luxury saloon, the capacity of an estate car, and its go-anywhere like a Land Rover. And that go-anywhere specification demands something special in spring, something special in ground clearance, something special in 4-wheel drive. Even in snow or sleet, that 4-wheel drive puts you on rail, and the disc brakes stop you like that. Off you go. Go anywhere.
And is this Range Rover really what a Range Rover is meant to be? Well, I'm not so sure. But let's not get bogged down into all of that just yet. Let's have a look at the car for what it is. I mean, inside it's a Range Rover Sport. I mean, we've got carbon fibre bits and pieces and a few little hints that it's a little bit faster and a bit more special than a regular one. And it's got my favourite button of all time, a sports exhaust button. It has a big boot, 5 comfortable seats and enough safety equipment to survive a nuclear strike. But that 5-litre V8 is utterly insane. So, when you put your foot down, it sounds unreal. Listen to it. Oh, it is so brutal. And then when you drop it down a gear, you get this bang, 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 like machine gun fire from the overrun. It is just wild. But is that what a Range Rover is all about? I'm still not convinced. When you're in it, you feel like you're in a Range Rover. But a Range Rover shouldn't make that noise. A Range Rover shouldn't have overrun. A Range Rover shouldn't get to 104.7 seconds. That's ridiculous. So as a Range Rover, I really don't like this car, not in the slightest bit. But I have prejudices. So if I put them aside and I look at this as a car and look at it for what it is, will I change my tune? Very much so. This car defies physics. It does things that you just don't think should be possible in a big 4-wheel drive, particularly a Range Rover. It corners so beautifully and so flat. The steering is very, very direct without being too darty. The way it accelerates is so linear because they've stuck to the whole supercharger idea rather than turbochargers, which, one, you can destroy the noise that comes out of the back of it, and two, gives you peaky power delivery. And if you're the kind of person who drives to the snow, which I think most people who own one of these certainly would, there would be no more competent car to get up a slippery, wet, icy mountain road. This thing would eat it up. Just because we don't think certain things are possible, like having a bright pink lake, doesn't mean that it can't actually be done. Doesn't mean that it doesn't happen in nature. And just because you think a four-wheel drive needs to be big and wallowy and slow and horrible to drive, which is sort of what I quite like in a four-wheel drive, doesn't mean that it should. And this is the proof that it doesn't have to. And at $148,880, this car is exceptional value when you consider this thing was probably around the $250,000 mark only a few years ago. So come down to Lorbek Luxury Cars today and buy what is the most outrageous yet outstanding value super SUV on the market today.